Climate adaptation is essentially the impact that the environment is having on us and what we're going to do about it. Canada's climate is warming, and that means we're getting a lot more extreme weather events, for one thing, and that can stress out the electricity system. So climate change adaptation is how we're changing the way that we do things in order to protect the system and ensure that we can keep doing what we do, delivering power to Canadians. We've had wildfires in various places in Canada. Fort McMurray suffered a major wildfire a few years ago. There's been ice storms that have affected electricity infrastructure and floods as well. Electricity the system is out there. You know, it's on wires, it's on poles, it's above ground, it's quite exposed when you think about it. And that means it's subject to all the forces of nature that are happening around it. This latest offering that we have is a guidance document that outlines in really specific ways for the folks that are designing the system, building the system, and essentially trying to pay for that as well. Assess the risks that are posed by climate change and the environment on that system and what to do about it. What are the best ways that they can allocate their resources, which are scarce, to solve the problem, to make sure that to the best of their ability, when the power is needed, they can still deliver it, even if there is an extreme weather event. The electricity system is going through a massive transformation right now as we speak. Really, now is the time to look at what kind of risks there exist on these systems and what we can do about it. There have been numerous studies that have looked at how much actually does it cost to make sure that things are resilient before something happens. And it's at the low end, it's 9 times less expensive to do something proactively before you need to do it. So before that wildfire comes in to knock out your transmission system, to ensure or to do what you can to make it resilient to wildfire, it's 9 times cheaper to do that than to wait for it and then rebuild it afterwards. The federal government's committed to reaching a goal of net zero carbon emissions by 2050. And this is going to be a major initiative that's going to be driving how the electricity sector invests and what it's going to be doing over the next 30 years. Electricity is so important to that goal because as fossil fuels will be used less, electricity needs to be there to make up for the shortfall. So we're going to be electrifying things that used to be fossil fuel powered, like transportation, like some industrial processes. And that means electricity and making sure that the electricity system is reliable is going to be even more important going forward. As we're dealing with the changing climate, as things are getting hotter, and people are going to be looking to electricity to provide that low carbon energy to help them get through their day, climate adaptation is one of those things. It's not a nice to have, it is a must have. We've got to be able to do this in order to make sure that we can continue to meet all of our goals. You can find our climate change adaptation guide at electricity.ca.